Not such a new voice to Dodo Modern as our next guest, our next guest tonight, Mr. Prmurry. Pete and I have been working together as poets for nearly 35 years. As well as being a poet, he is also a sculptor and painter, one of the best in London, if not in Greater London. Anyway, without more ado, please welcome Prmurry.
Good evening. I'm going to do a bit of, I can't move around much, as much as I used to, but during my set I'm going to do shape shifting instead to make up for that. Later on I'll transform myself into a bird animal before your very eyes. But first of all, I'm going to transform myself in quick succession into 4 pieces of office equipment. I am a filing cabinet. I have 4 drawers, and I am not an ocelot, so I do not have padded paws or sharp claws or a beautiful spotted coat, so I don't go out hunting across jungle floors. I just sit here, rectangular and metallic, storing. It might seem boring to you, but it's all I do because I am a filing cabinet. If I was a hole punch, I'd never be out to lunch. I'd be so legless that I couldn't go to the cafe. All I'd eat is little paper circles, no panini, no salad, no baguettes, no cappuccino, no latte for me, not even a short, sharp shot of espresso, unless some silly office worker spills it on me. I'd be underfed and caffeine free, and I'd subsist very quietly on little paper circles, only making a creaking sound when I got pressed down. Otherwise I'd just sit there. I am a capable stapler, very capable. I'm capabler than a pin or a paperclip of fixing sheets of paper together, not forever, but just for long enough, because that is what I am capable of. If I was a shredder, life would be better. I wouldn't have to worry about my diet. I just eat paper and I just shit paper. And I wouldn't have to be very quiet. I'd just go, yes, every time I ate and shit paper. If I was a shredder, life would be a bit better, because yes is all I'd have to say. Okay, this is a poem I wrote, as we're now approximately at midsummer. I thought I'd read a poem I wrote on the first day of this year. This year is the 100th anniversary of the start of the First World War, and also saw in its first 2 months the wettest months on record. I didn't know that when I wrote it, because I only wrote it on January the 1st, but anyway, it turns out to be, as usual, incredibly prophetic. The writing on the carton at the breakfast table tells me that the liquid contained therein comes from fruit that has been grown in sun-drenched groves. The wind's howling changes pitch, and I look out of the window at a grove that is just drenched, and only drenched, and drenched again as another Atlantic gale blows in. But I thank God or fate that I wasn't born a century ago, because I could have been getting well drenched in a trench. Okay, I'm not a vegetarian. I know if possible it would be better if we were. But when I do eat meat, I like to make sure it's come from, appropriate sources, and if an animal has to be killed to feed me, it should be brought up properly and humanely. So this is a song about that. I'm cooking my supper of mutton mince raised holistically on the Prince's farm, but I'd rather be cooking up some mince for my tea from the Prince's arm. The royal family are well raised and kept. They have palaces to sleep in and parks to run about in. They are not stressed. They are free range, kept clean and pure, far from their own manure. And I'm sure they'll be nutritious, as one at least is an organic beast, and I'm sure he tastes delicious. So I cook my meat and dream of the day which cannot be so far away, when minced prince is on my menu. Okay, the tiger. You may detect a little homage to William Blake here. I am a tiger burning bright in the forest of the night, or in the day, and in the shade, lying watching in a glade where golden light is striping down through green foliage and leaves me almost invisible except for my unblinking eye, which only the dying should see. I am a tiger, and I once heard a philosopher teaching. He said, philosophy is like searching for a black cat in a darkened room at night with a brown paper bag over your head. It is totally out of court. It is just not cricket. I thought this did not concern me because I am a tiger, not a black panther. But lest some roving forest gypsy passing by with a handmade flintlock gun made out of an old gas pipe should descry my unblinking eye and shoot me through it in order to sell my powerful powdered parts to give a millionaire somewhere an unnecessary thrill, I stir myself and pad out across the jungle floor. Yes, I think I'll eat a philosopher tonight, knock the back off his head with one swipe of my paw, lick all the knowledge porridge out of his skull with my abrasive tongue, so that I might know what he was talking about. Or I could, like my northern brothers up in the snow, go for a Siberian, but it might just be like drinking a gallon of vodka. Okay, up into the sky, before I leave you, up into the sky and then maybe back again. This is, I'm changing into an eagle. I am an eagle, I live in a zoo, I don't like it much, neither would you. I sat on my perch, I glared down at crowds, I dived in my mind between dreamed clouds. I sat on my perch, I stared at the wall, but I saw a sky with no bars at all. I sat on my perch, I sat on the floor, I tried to imagine what it feels like to soar. Then God of Eagles made good luck for me. One unlocked moment, enough to fly free. Life without a cage was too short and sweet. Wide London sky, killed dogs to eat. I sat in my tree, didn't know what to feel, kept dreaming of bars and regular meals. I sat in my tree, alone with the sky, I saw a warm cage, I'd no wish to fly. I sat in my tree, I knew I was tamed, made no move to escape when the dart gun was raised. I am an eagle, I live in a zoo, I don't like it much, neither would you.
prmurry. I was trying to think of something I haven't said about him before, but anyway, you obviously enjoyed him, and he'll be back in the second half. Our next act tonight, Keith and Suzanne Drake, they are stolets of Merton poets down in South London. They performed earlier this year at Jawspring, which was a coming together of artists and poets. And I think a little bit later, or earlier, I'm not sure which, they were at the Marshal Duchamp Festival at Herne Bay, which is the 100th anniversary of his visit to the town. They are regular performers at Dodo Modern Poets. They're one of my favourite acts, taking poetry into uncharted territories. And as far as I know, they're the only husband and wife double act in the genre. So please welcome Keith